Welcome back to my off-grid home in Northern California. I'm Angie, and this week is all about settling in, exploring the land, and making this place feel like mine. As you might remember from last week, I moved in and started unpacking the boxes from my apartment in Oakland. This week, the rest of my stuff from Georgia arrived, and wow, oh wow, let me tell you, we have a lot. In 2021, Presh and I moved to Georgia for a year. We ended up buying a house out there and really thought we were going to put down roots. I wanted to be in the country and have a slower life, and she was down to be my ride or die. But quickly after getting there, we realized that we really missed our communities in the Bay Area. I spent an entire year renovating and furnishing the space and really tried to make it our own personal retreat. But as the pandemic shifted and our work situations changed, we ended up moving back to Oakland in 2022. I always knew the move back was temporary, and I used it to figure out what I really wanted. Once I knew that, I ended up selling the house in Georgia this year actually, and we used the proceeds to buy the land that we're on now. What are we watching? Amazing. It's like Game of Thrones.
I know, right?
It's been a mess. We've been in transition for so many weeks. I'm seeing all these things that need to get done in the house. I'm trying to prioritize like what's really important. Last week, I started setting up my office with the items that I had from Oakland, and I continued this week by shopping around for whatever I could easily access from the new boxes that just arrived. And the space I'm building in is so cold. It's an unfinished attic above the garage, but it is my space, and it's my space entirely, and I'm determined to make it 100% functional over time. Something I love about this property is the land and seclusion. The tall pine trees and heavy cedars create a beautiful backdrop, and every time I walk around, I'm reminded of the beauty in this space. Even on a rainy day like today, sitting on this fallen tree, I feel really grateful for this new life that I'm creating. It was a moment of solitude that reminded me why I decided to leave the Bay Area after living there for 10 years. I see so much potential in this space. Every time I walk into it, I'm shown a world of lush living and something just so different than what I came from. I imagine a wood-burning hot tub in one corner, a cedar sauna in another, maybe an outdoor dining space here, a kitchen, a small greenhouse, just so many other things that would help me unwind and restore and just ground. It's kind of like everywhere I look on this property, I see healing, and I literally see it everywhere. It's time to get my workshop together. I just took a break from the garage. I think I've been in there like a couple hours, but I'm having the worst cramps. So this was like, let me take a break. Morning. It's Saturday. So it's freezing. We're still in this like cold front. It was probably like 40 something last night. We have heat downstairs and it's propane. This is my first time living with propane, and I'm realizing that running the heat on propane is a lot, like 5% a day. We need wood. So I just called a local firewood supplier. I have a cord of wood coming tomorrow and I don't have anywhere to put it. I'm just going through all the scrap wood that we have and seeing if I can build a firewood holder. I got some cinder blocks that the prior owner here just left, so I'm gonna use those as my base. I'm gonna throw down, I think like a 2x4, and I'm gonna try to make this as simple as possible. As I build our firewood storage outside for all the wood that we have coming, I can't help but feel a sense of pride in myself and this work. Like, sure, it's super simple, but that feeling of doing something for myself, for my family, for my household and taking the steps to build the life that I want. Like, wow, I don't know. I can't really explain the sense of accomplishment I feel just knowing that I got this, you know, like truly anything can come my way and I'm willing to figure it out. So all of these outlets are dead. There's only one that works. It's in this corner. In a perfect world, I would have my circular saw and I would just trim this right off the edge of the table, but because I'm playing Tetris and the garage isn't clean yet, I don't know where it is. I can't find it anywhere. So I'm using this miter saw. I don't have any room to go back and forth, but I also don't have another table to set it up on yet. So I sometimes wish that we all took more chances in this life. You know, I definitely have noticed that most people don't try a lot of new things. You know, they kind of stick with what they know in this life. And if they're unfamiliar with something, they kind of steer away from it. Something that really pushed me to kind of get out of the city and get out of the bubble that I was in was that I just noticed a lot of people complaining about the life that they were living, but not really willing to change anything. That's not to call anyone out. Like, we all struggle. The way I saw things happening in my household, I knew I didn't want to live like that. And the way I saw things happening with the people around me that I grew up, I knew I didn't want to live like that either. So I've always been trying different things and trying to figure out what is the way to live that feels best for me. Okay. I did it. Okay, so we got one. Super janky, but so simple. The wood fits on there. That's a third of the cord. And I got two. Bam. 2/3 of the cord. But it's raining and I'm cold and I'm hungry. So I'm gonna go inside and do that. I think about that a lot, about how can we get outside of our comfort zone so we can learn new things, we can grow and we can expand. You know, comfort is a curse at times. You know, of course I want to be comfortable. I'm a little bougie. I love leisure, of course, but I also want to be uncomfortable. I want to be forced to think differently, to try new things and to learn. To end the week on a nice high note, I ended up making some pita bread and some deliciously sweet and spicy harissa plant-based beef hummus. Oh my gosh, I really love to cook. And it's funny, whenever I do cook, I kind of start zoning out while I'm doing it. It was delicious, and I will link the recipe in the description. Thank you again for joining me on this journey, and I really do look forward to sharing more with you next week. If you liked the things that I'm sharing, please like this video. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of these adventures, and please drop me a comment or a question. Part of what I'm sharing this for is I hope other people who are doing it can chime in, and those who are dreaming of it can dream with me. You know, at the end of the day, all we have is each other, and it means a lot that you would take time out of your day to join me. So thanks, and I'll see you next week.